Welcome back to Factual America, the channel where we dig beneath the headlines to uncover the truth behind today's most important stories. Today, we're asking a question that should concern every hardworking American. Is your bank account truly safe? And what does it actually mean to live in a cashless society? A world many tech companies and even our own government seem eager to push us towards. Whether you realize it or not, cash is disappearing from our lives. Maybe you already use your phone or a credit card for almost everything. Amazon would love it if you never gave another bill or coin a second thought. But what are we actually giving up as a society when cash is no longer king? You might be thinking, who cares? Digital payments are faster and more convenient. I don't even remember the last time I used cash. But convenience often comes at a cost. And that cost, in this case, is your freedom, your privacy, and potentially your financial security. Let's step back for a moment. Why are we being pushed towards a cashless society in the first place? Proponents say it's safer. No cash means fewer robberies, less hassle at the register, even a cleaner, more sanitary world. Who can argue with safety and progress, right? But is the real motivation about safety or about control? When every single purchase you make can be tracked, logged, and analyzed, who holds the power over your money? And is that a power we want to hand over to banks, tech companies, and the government? Let's talk about privacy first. With every swipe, tap, and click, you're leaving a digital fingerprint. In a cashless world, your morning coffee, your grocery runs, your charitable donations, everything is being recorded somewhere. That information is valuable, and not just to advertisers. Imagine a scenario where authorities suddenly don't like a cause you've donated to, or a politician you support, or even something you bought. With the stroke of a keyboard, your financial activity can be scrutinized, frozen, or worse, used against you. This might sound like something out of a dystopian novel, but it's already happening in certain parts of the world. Don't believe it could happen here? In Canada, during the trucker protests of 2022, the government froze bank accounts of protesters and even people who donated to them, all through digital financial controls. Imagine being unable to pay for groceries or fuel simply because someone in power disagreed with your beliefs. You might say, but I don't have anything to hide. That's never the point. Privacy isn't about hiding. It's about having the freedom to act without unnecessary oversight. When your every move is tracked, you're essentially living in a digital fishbowl. It's a very different America than the one our founders envisioned. And what about security? Tying all your assets to cyberspace exposes you to some serious risks. Just ask anyone who's been hacked. From ransomware attacks to phishing scams, the more connected your life, the more fragile your financial security becomes. Consider what happens during a widespread power outage, a major cyber attack, or simply a technical glitch at your bank. If there's no cash in your pocket and every terminal is offline, how do you pay for food, gas, or medicine? For all the talk of progress, going cashless actually makes us more vulnerable, not less. Banks and tech companies want you to believe they have airtight security. But even giants like Capital One and Equifax have suffered massive breaches. Personal data, account numbers, even social security numbers, exposed in an instant. Now imagine your entire livelihood exists only as ones and zeros in a vulnerable system. And then there's the question of financial inclusion. Did you know that millions of Americans still either don't have a bank account or prefer not to use one? For them, cash isn't just nostalgia, it's necessity. Forcing a cashless society risks shutting out the elderly, the poor, rural citizens, immigrants, and anyone else who doesn't fit the tech-savvy urban mold. Let's not forget about small businesses. Processing digital payments comes with fees, equipment costs, and sometimes a waiting period to access their own money. In a cashless world, mom-and-pop shops are at the mercy of tech giants and big banks, who can change rules or fees at will. So what about people who simply want to keep a little cash under the mattress, just in case? In a cashless society, that choice disappears. What happens when the government or your bank gets to decide, overnight, how much of your own money you can access, or if you can access it at all? There are those who argue a cashless society would all but eliminate crime. But let's be honest, criminal innovation always keeps pace with technology. Hackers, cybercriminals, and even corrupt insiders can and do target digital funds. In fact, cybercrime has exploded right alongside the growth of digital payments. Let's take a closer look at what's happening internationally. In China, the government has rolled out a social credit system, tying payment methods to a person's behaviors and beliefs. Get a low score, and you could be locked out of essential services. Is that the direction America wants to head? Sweden is nearly cashless, and even there, people are beginning to push back. Emergency preparedness experts and ordinary citizens alike are concerned about how they'd survive a natural disaster or tech failure if they can't access digital money. Let's talk programmable money, the next big leap. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, would allow governments not just to track, but to control how, when, and on what you spend money. Imagine a world where your stimulus check can only be spent at approved retailers, or expires if not used fast enough. Far-fetched? China and even the European Union are already conducting trials. Don't forget about negative interest rates. In a cashless world, if the government wants you to stimulate spending, it could charge you to keep money in your account. With no cash alternative, you literally have no choice but to watch your savings shrink if you don't spend. If you think banks are immune to pressure, think again. Just look at what happens when public opinion shifts. Suddenly, legal businesses like gun shops or industries out of political favor find themselves debanked. Accounts closed, access denied, livelihoods destroyed in the name of risk management. Could it happen to you? Maybe not today. But once the infrastructure is in place, all it takes is for the definition of undesirable to shift. What if tomorrow it's your religion, your profession, or your political views that the powers that be take issue with? This isn't just a theoretical problem. Former political dissidents, religious minorities, and even ordinary people in countries like Nigeria and India have already seen governments demonetize cash overnight or lock accounts without warning. Their stories are a stark warning to the rest of the world. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. What can you do to protect yourself now? Step 1. Diversify. As long as cash is still an option, keep some on hand. Step 2. Understand your bank's policies and your rights. Don't just check the balance, check the fine print. Step 3. Support businesses and lawmakers that value both digital convenience and financial freedom. More importantly, speak up. It may sound old school, but call your representatives. Let them know you want choice, not compulsion, in how you spend, save, and donate your money. Maybe technology will continue to march forward. But if we're not careful, it could march right over our rights and freedoms in the process. America has always stood for freedom and individual responsibility. A society without cash means more than a missing $20 bill. It could mean the end of untraceable, uncensorable, and truly private transactions. So, is your bank account safe? Maybe more than ever, the answer depends on you, on the choices you make and the stands you take. Let's not sleepwalk into a system where all our transactions, and maybe even our opinions, are up for approval by distant bureaucrats and faceless computers. The hidden risks of a cashless society are real, and it's time to open our eyes. That's it for today. What do you think? Is a cashless society an innovation whose time has come, or a threat to our freedoms and financial security? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Have you already experienced problems with digital banking or cash bans? Don't forget to subscribe to Factual America for more deep dives and share this video if you found it thought-provoking. What topics should we cover next? Drop your suggestions below. We're listening.